Yo, welcome to the show. Gather round, listen close. We got George, Brock, and J.A. bringing you the most NFL podcast. It's about to go down. Three amigos ready to run this town. Welcome to the Ball Studio, where the fun begins. George, Brock, and Jay talking NFL with their friends. So grab a drink, sit back, let's dive into the show. The Ball Studio, fam, we're ready to go. Let's go.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Vault Studio. I'm the new host, I guess, Scotty, with JA and the big fella George.
Did we put that in your contract? You're the new host?
I'm just negotiating on the
still
fly.
lining out the,
Yeah, I'm just taking over. This is my podcast now, so fuck you all.
He's like, I can bench more than Brock, so I'm the new host.
We've obviously got Brock.
Oh, fuck off.
Jesus Christ. We've obviously got Brock on the dials there, just fact checking everything and making sure we don't spill too much shit. Smash the socials.
Yeah, I never agreed to not spilling shit. I never agreed to that.
Yeah,
I want that in my contract.
I'm going to call him out.
I can spill as much shit as I want.
Make sure you smash the socials. They're still taking off.
Listen, I just want to talk about the social for a sec. Can all you bastards that listen to this show start commenting and so I can start arguing with people, please? It's the off season. I'm bored. I need people commenting so I can argue with you all. Please.
Everyone comes up to us and says, "Oh, we hate George so much," and then they don't give him anything to fire up about.
If you hate me so much, which is fine, by the way, I actually prefer that. I prefer that you hate me. Put it in the comments, you bastards.
George,
Seriously.
can you get a fucking hobby for fuck's sake?
I have no life, bro. My life is work and gym. Leave me alone, man.
And the vault.
And the vault.
Apparently, they're all terrified now because of what we did to David Holmes. They've seen the writing on the wall. They don't want to deal with that anymore.
I'll tell you this about David. He did that to himself by being such a dickhead. All right, he should have just been normal, and then I wouldn't have said nothing. But the guy wanted to be a cuck, so I gave it to him. Sorry.
He definitely has a double. He has a two-seater cuck chair in his house.
He does a double.
There's a double cuck chair.
So what does it say?
That sounds delightful.
His mate like arm in arm. Dude,
Yeah,
watch his missus get railed.
He's definitely got a cuck couch.
Cuck couch.
Not to be confused with the casting couch. This is an
taking
NFL podcast. Let's get this right back.
All right, let's get into.
That's why I don't do
topic.
intros.
We'll go. Yeah, Scotty's taken us completely off. We'll take us into the first topic.
Still better than mine, Scott.
I want to give a little. All right, we're done. We're done. Brock, in the show. Cut it.
We're done.
I want to give a quick shout out. Moments after we uploaded last week's podcast, one of our longtime listeners and my cousin, Big Tommy Arthur,
Shout out.
he sent us in a little. He said, "Hey guys, I've just made this for you. Let me know what you think of it." Brock, hit it and let's do it.
Lights on, mic check. Game time, let's go. Jay, George, Scotty running the show. Brock on the mix, keeping it tight. NFL talk every day, every night. From the turf to the booth, we break it all down. The Vault Studio, the best show in town. Show in town, let's show in town, let's show in town. Lights on, mic check. Game time, let's go. Jay, George, Scotty running the show. Brock on the mix, keeping it tight. NFL talk every day, every night.
I'm about it. I love it.
Yeah, so he said
that's
so
elite.
that's going to be our new intro song. We'll add that into the. He said I needed to update it.
Whoa. Do we have to pay royalties to Tom? What's the story with that?
I think it'll be a cheap.
Super producer Tom.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah, he just wanted to one up Brock. I think that was what he was going
Fair.
for.
Shout out, Tommy. You're a fucking gun. I love you.
Yeah, good on you, Tommy. I love that, and he's a big time listener. Loves the show. So really, we do appreciate that because it saved me having to work out how to do it again, even though I've done it before. And
You're one and done.
Yeah, we're not paying the other guy anymore.
it would have been a good like obviously we had Post Malone on retainer to do our next song, but I've released him. I paid him out. I gave him a good little thing to go off with. He's fine. He can go mumble rap somewhere else. But let's get through our first topic.
Not a mum.
All right, so we're deep. We're in off season mode.
We're in off season mode.
So let's
if you can't tell.
So we've got our first topic, which is Aaron Rodgers is out in New York. Good call, bad call. Basically, I'll give some bit of feedback of what happened. From all reports, including Rodgers, is that they told him they didn't want him to do any out of New York media anymore. So Pat McAfee show was the main thing. They said he can't miss any of the non-mandatory trainings. He needs to be at every single training.
So all the voluntary OTAs, he's got to be there.
Had to be there as the quarterback and the leader of the team. That was from Aaron Glenn directly, and he didn't really say if he was accepted of it or not. But from all reports, obviously now that he's not on the team, it's because he wasn't open to it.
Mm.
I think the one with Pat McAfee is unfair. I don't think you should be able to control what players can do outside of them playing. Like, I don't think there's any harm in him going on the Pat McAfee show.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit unfair. I agree with the OTAs. You can't go to ayahuasca and do your
Yes.
own thing.
Yes.
I think, and like we did discuss, the importance of having your starter quarterback in that position in the OTAs, getting the cadence clear, getting the snaps worked out with the center, getting everything in alignment, running routes with the receivers, the handoffs, all that stuff is so important. And I know he's a vet, but everyone's different.
It was more the fact that he missed a couple training sessions to go to Egypt as well. And that came out with Salah as well, coaching this year, that they were unexcused absences. So they knew about him. They weren't happy about him, but apparently Rodgers couldn't miss out on seeing the pyramids of Giza and like going through.
Oh,
them.
are they still there?
They're still there. Make
Oh,
sure
so
they're
he
still
could have gone in the off season.
Well, they've been there for 5,000 years, bro.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going anywhere
I-
anytime
so
soon.
he could have waited until the off season.
I think it was a special trip where he actually got to meet a bunch of people and stuff like that. It wasn't his call. What
Yeah,
time
but
he went.
also the
just
Jets are
happened at
paying
the
you
wrong
$40 million to play quarterback. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Yeah, I agree. I
Look,
think that's
me
bare minimum of what they should do.
your point's valid about media and stuff like that. And I'm not the sort of person that restricts people making money. I'm all for it. I'm Mr. Capitalism. But Aaron Glenn's going in there. He's trying to set a tone. He's trying to change the culture because let's face it, the Jets culture is fucking terrible. And it has been for the best part of 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
He's trying to change the culture. I have no issue with any of it, to be honest. It's kind of, I think what he's trying to do is establish that I don't care who you are. I don't care what number's on the back of your jersey or what name's on the back of your jersey. Like, no one is above me. I'm the boss. I'm in charge.
Yep.
And if it's not serving the New York Jets, no go. And
Yeah.
I don't have an issue with that.
No, and it's very similar to what Sean Payton did with Russell Wilson when he was in the
Correct.
building.
Correct.
And eventually Russell
Because
Wilson
Wilson
because
was
of it.
drinking a lot of his own bathwater, and
He had an office.
Delicious.
He had a
and
private
Rogers is the same.
office.
Rogers is the same. He drinks a lot of his own bathwater. That Cali cool. I'm Mr. Like, I don't like authority. I don't like to be told what to do.
On the flip side to that, he's beloved in the locker room.
Yes, he is.
Every player absolutely loves Rodgers. Like, even back in the Green Bay when it was a little bit rocky, the players love him. In the Jets, everything that's come out so far, players absolutely love him. So it's hard to put a finger on the pulse, but I just think that no one player is bigger than the team, like you said.
Yeah.
And I think the OTAs and all that sort of stuff is non-negotiable.
I just think that's what Aaron Glenn is trying to establish. Set that
Yes.
tone that
And
no
that's very
one
important.
player is bigger than the team.
Yep.
And yeah, the players might like him and his teammates might like him. That's not what I'm saying. I've actually never heard another player speak badly
No.
about Rodgers, really, like over the journey. He can be a bit of a twat in the media, and I just think that's just because he just hates the media personally.
Yep.
But yeah, fine, his teammates might like him, but it's not about that. It's about changing the culture, and that's a very difficult thing to do. Like, that takes a lot of like effort to get going. Like you saw it with Dan Campbell and Detroit, what it took. Like, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah, to change a losing culture is really tough.
Hmm.
And I think Aaron Glenn's trying to do that. And whether he succeeds or not, time will tell. But you have to do something. And we're doing a bit more. We're talking a bit more later about the biggest mistakes of the offseason, and the Jets are going to come up.
They
quite
feature prominently, yeah.
prominently, and he's got a
Rodgers-
tough job.
So Rodgers has the third best season for a quarterback in Jets history.
I think that's the point. That,
So it's tough. Like, you're a poverty franchise. You finally got you got the third best season ever. I've got it here. So Joe Namath in 67 statistically had the best season. Then you got Ryan Fitzpatrick, who just pulled magic out of everywhere.
who had a magic season, but they didn't make the playoffs.
Didn't make the
Fitzmagic.
playoffs. Yep.
Like, that was
You
And
look
then
at-
you've got Rodgers. So
you look
like,
at Roger's stats this season, and
They're quite acceptable.
Brock, do it for me.
I've got
Do
them
it for
here,
me, please.
actually.
they're quite acceptable.
Put them side by side next to Josh Allen's stats. They're almost identical.
Oh, the
Three-
running stuff's the rushing part's not there.
Almost, I said.
Yeah,
All-
the
they're
passing stats,
Almost identical.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
I agree.
3,900 yards. He's got 31 tutties for.
So whether
I think he had only
I don't
18
think it's-
receptions or something.
so
Can't
like,
see
are we
it here.
saying that whether we think he can still play ball or not, or
He can
whether
still play
whether
ball.
he's a good fit in
11.
New York? Like, what are we saying?
I think it's a fit in New York that's the issue. I
Yeah,
think
that's
if
what
you
I'm
have
saying.
to, if you have to, the culture's the important thing that he has to turn around. That's why he's there.
Yeah.
I think they've realized with the roster they've got that they're probably at best at the last seed in the playoffs.
Yeah.
At best case
Like a
scenario.
7 seed.
Yeah.
And that's
And what's the point?
yeah, a long boat.
You rebuild.
I don't see the point in them. He's under contract next year. They've got Devonta Adams under contract next year. I don't see the point in it.
What's his
I
dead
get
cap
there's a
hit?
cultural thing. I understand that part of it.
I think that Aaron Glenn didn't want him, is what I think. And I think he put those stipulations in knowing that it was going to be a deal breaker for Rodgers.
So what's the alternative now? Because
That's what I was
they're
thinking.
not getting Sam Darnold. He's not coming. He's the battle the ball for the free agency for quarterbacks.
He's not going back to the
and then
Jets.
there is
No way.
Gardner
nothing. And
Minshew.
there is no way he's exactly. You want to Gardner Minshew?
What you do, what I believe you do, is what Scott said, where you just blow the whole thing up, trade anyone that you can for any sort of draft capital, get a guy in for a year like a Gardner Minshew or a Daniel Jones or someone like that.
Yeah.
Win 3 games, draft 2 or 3 next year, and draft a quarterback and go from there.
But then a first-time head coach who's started at the absolute bottom of the chain, like at scouting, and
Yeah.
worked all his way up. There's a sense of like, does he want to do a rebuild? Does he want to do a full rip the plaster off the walls rebuild?
I think
How long is
does.
he-
I think he does.
How
I
long?
think he
was
knew
a
what he was
year
signing
too
up
early.
for.
How long is he there for? Because we know that what's he owner? Woody Johnson.
Woody Johnson, yeah.
How long does he take a rebuild? Like how long?
I
does it
think
turn around?
I think he'll get 3 seasons if he doesn't see improvement in his third
If it's
season.
if things are trending in the right direction,
Yeah.
he'll be given a longer
That's
leash.
the smart thing to do.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the smart thing to do. The Jets don't do smart things. That's why
That's
they're
also true.
a poverty franchise.
That's why they are where they are and
Yeah.
have been where they have been.
I just think there was no point. They've got no other option. You should have rolled with him one more year. I don't genuinely. See
I'm saying there's a point purely because they need to blow everything up. That's the
Yeah.
only solution out of this mire that they're stuck in.
So then what do they do? Because then they're probably going to lose. Like Devonta Adams, more reports.
He's gone.
They're waiting to find where Rodgers gets signs, and then Devonta
2
Adams
for
is
1
gonna-
I'm going
package.
to go there. Fair.
which is fine. I actually don't care if Devonta Adams wants to do that. I
Yeah.
think, and I think the team that signs Rodgers should be signing them on the preface that they're probably going to give up a
Good.
4th round pick for Adams.
For Adams as well, yeah.
and I
Or-
don't think
yeah.
I don't think any team that wants to sign him would have a problem with that. Either.
Sure.
Like and more reports like Pittsburgh are heavily interested in him.
Mm.
I think that would be okay. And then you get Adams in, and you got Adams.
I heard the Rams.
Give me George Pickens and Rodgers on the same field.
I heard the Rams are right into it.
Well, we're going to talk Rams later. That's all part of it.
Mm.
But yeah, I think Aaron Rodgers has got a year or 2 left, whether he wants to. I think if he wants to play football, he should always be given the opportunity to play football by a team.
Sure. He's got to go
Because he-
somewhere with a good line, though, because he does not want to get hit.
No, he doesn't want to get hit anymore. So I just think it was a year early. That I just don't see the point. Rocky?
So Aaron Rodgers' dead cap hit this year is $49 million.
Jesus.
That's a
So
massive hit.
you want to pay Aaron Rodgers, who had the 3rd best season in the New York Jets history of their organization. They've been around the whole time.
Mm.
You want to pay him $50 million to not play for you.
It's pretty bonkers, isn't it? Yeah.
That's it's stupid.
It just
in
shows
terms
how
of
fucked the
team
Jets
building,
are, though. Like, yeah,
but
just a shit
in
organization.
saying that, they saved $25.5 million
yeah,
as well.
For what though?
Cap goes up
Who's going to want to sign
25
with him?
million.
What? And it's not a good free agency class either. Like it's not a great free agency class. And I know they're saying that there'll be guys that are in there. There are 15 guys in the top 30 free agents that won't hit free agency because teams will resign
Sign
them.
them, yeah.
So and they'll get tagged. So that will happen. I just don't. I
Well-
don't get it. I don't see the point of it. It doesn't make sense to me in terms of putting the best team on the park. Aaron Rodgers not being on your team as the New York Jets doesn't make sense. In that
Do you
regard.
go after like a dart from Ole Miss or something like that?
Maybe you can
You
draft
just
a guy.
throw.
Like, where are they drafting? I think they're like pick 10 or something. Pick 8 or 9 or 10.
Yeah, so Ward and
And it's
Sanders
such a-
are off the mark.
it's such a bad QB draft.
Yeah.
But-
They're not a good draft in general. That's the
No.
problem.
But that dart's meant to be okay. Like, do you take a flyer on him and see how it goes for 2 years and then you rebuild again? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're going to take a flyer on a guy, have Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
So then
but
you
then he
like-
doesn't get any game time.
Yeah, but what we've seen that rookie quarterbacks often that are later picked often don't flourish.
Or you get Minshew.
Yeah, but
Minshew starts the year for the first 6 weeks.
do you think Minshew's better than Aaron Rodgers?
No, but I'm just saying, if the plan is Aaron Rodgers isn't going to be there for 1 year to babysit
That's right.
Dart.
Aaron Rodgers is playing to win a ring. That's right.
So
He's right.
So if you get Minshew, you save your 25 million. You pay
Yeah.
Minshew what 12? What's
Yeah,
15?
I think he got 12 last year, so I don't think he'll get
10?
it again.
You say he gets 10 to 12. He starts the first 6 to 8 weeks, and then you get your if they take if they throw a dart on the wall and they get dart from Ole Miss, and then you see what you got for the rest of the year, and then you can do a soft rebuild year 2, and then if he's not the guy, you draft a QB again.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. You probably need to bottom out next
I
season.
reckon bridge QB for a year, like a Minshew or something, and just bottom out, set fire sale, and start again.
Or you could go full Colts where Peyton Manning was hurt, but they didn't draft anyone and just played Curtis Payton for a year and won one game.
Yeah.
And then guarantee you get the number 1 pick.
Stuck for luck.
And
Yeah.
go and get a guy next year.
Yep.
Like, I don't know who the quarterback
That's what I'm saying they should do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, like,
And let's go and get like an Arch Manning or something, like something like that.
Where do we think Rodgers ends up?
Depends where Stafford ends up,
Yeah, I think that's going to be a big thing. I think if we'll talk Stafford soon.
because
If
he'll be the first domino.
if Stafford doesn't get traded, I think he ends up at the Pittsburgh. Steelers.
Because actually the first domino will be Darnold, and then
Yes.
Stafford, and then Rodgers.
Can we, while we're on it, am I crazy in thinking the Vikings don't just re-sign Donald or tag him? What are they doing?
I don't know.
Like,
I-
I know the
I-
tags haven't hit yet. It'll hit in the next.
But
I think it's in a couple of weeks,
The whispers are, well, not the whispers, the murmurs are that they're going to roll with McCarthy.
which seems wild to me after watching what.
Well, they're an
Darnold-
in-between team anyway, so why not just roll with McCarthy?
Yeah,
Why not?
Yeah, you're right.
You saw they had the soft schedule. They played so much above expectations, and then when the chips are on the table, they looked like an 8-win team.
Yeah, true.
yeah.
So why
13, nearly 14 million against the cap? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so yeah,
For Gardner
Minshew, yeah.
He's not worth that. So you get him for 10 to 12.
Depends on what people want.
And Vegas are also drafting 7th this year.
Jets, you mean?
The Jets,
Yeah.
Well,
that's right, so-
well, yeah, I don't think.
There's Shador and Cam Ward won't be there.
No, but I'm pretty sure that Russell Wilson or Geno Smith will reunite with Pete Carroll.
Oh yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, but
Bro,
it wouldn't surprise me if Russell Wilson went there. He's a
Yeah,
great
why
team.
wouldn't he? Why wouldn't
He'd be better than Gardner Minshew or Hutchins or whatever the guy is.
Yeah.
O'Connell, sorry.
he? Yeah,
Aidan
O'Connell. Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about Brocky's boy. We've let this go for a couple of weeks.
We're gonna
Just like the Ravens let it go.
We're letting for the smoke to fucking to
no,
start billowing.
we're gonna skip the next subject and
We
we're
are
gonna go
definitely
to
not
Zach.
skipping.
We're gonna go to Zach Martin.
We're
No,
not-
we're
no,
not. We're not going to
We're-
Zach Martin.
We're talking about Zach
We're
Martin
in a
first.
pool
Going
of
to-
sadness.
No. Put it back.
No,
We're
no,
talking
I
about
control.
Justin
I
Tucker.
control the stream. We're talking about Zach Martin first.
Okay, if any full grown man want to watch another full grown man cry for 3 minutes, now's your time. Turn on
No, the
video.
Luca trade's finished. I'm done with it.
No, I mean me. There hasn't been a more heartbreaking moment in Dallas history than Zach Martin retiring.
He was
I think there has.
Dallas sport history.
I think there well and truly has.
a good servant. He was really
Via
good.
Nico.
The fact that, and we've said this stat before, that he has more all pros than career holding calls.
Holding goals is
He has
fucking
9 career
bonkers.
all pros and 7 career hold. That's 7 career holding calls in 13 seasons.
It's bonkers, isn't it?
It's fucking
Phenomenal.
ludicrous.
It's
Look, I'm obviously biased. I love offensive line play. I'm a Cowboys fan, so naturally I love Zach Martin. But
Yeah,
I think he goes down in history one of the best guards.
He's a very high level.
I don't think there's like he's with Marshall Yanda and those
Joe
sorts of
Thomas.
guys. Joe
Mm.
Thomas, like
Yep.
he's one of the best offensive linemen in the history of the
Yep,
NFL,
that's
and
fair.
he should be a first ballot. Offensive linemen often aren't, but he should be.
I think he will be.
I think he
Yeah,
will be too.
and
Well, Joe Thomas was. So
yes, he was. Yeah,
So I think
and I think Kelsey will be.
prolonged-
I think Kelsey should be, and I think then Zach Martin
Yeah.
should be a year later.
Yeah.
That's my belief. I think he's just. The
It would
best
be
guy
very
ever.
hard to put an argument to not make him first ballot.
He's literally never played a bad game.
yeah,
Like
it's just good.
I've watched every game he's ever played in, and I cannot remember being like, "God, Zach Martin's having a bad day."
Yeah, no, he's just
Ever.
good. He's just good.
Yeah.
Like,
Just,
he's just
consistent and consistently elite.
and the ultimate professional the whole time through.
good. Agreed.
Yeah, and
Most people would never have heard of him, which is
A
the
perfect thing.
dream for the O lineman.
As an interior lineman, to not
Yeah.
have your name called out is usually a good thing.
yes,
Yep.
the years of Tyron Smith, Travis Frederick, and Zach Martin will
Yep.
live forever with me.
Yep.
That fight, and then obviously Travis Frederick's career ended early because of injuries.
Yep.
Like serious injuries, neck
Yeah,
injuries.
Zeke was pretty happy running behind him. that's for
Exactly.
sure.
Like those 3 guys I'll remember the 3 of them playing together forever. Like that's how good they were to watch. And yeah, they propelled Zeke to a lot of money and a lot of yards.
A lot of yards, yeah.
Which I said that's what good running backs need. Great offense.
It just shows that to be a good team for an extended period of time, you really need to invest in your offensive line. All the top teams this year all had pretty high level O lines.
Yep.
And I think that trend is only going to continue as defensive linemen get better.
But
It's just so hard to
generational. He's a generational guy.
Agreed.
They're generational.
Also, in terms of the Cowboys, though, like when Zach Martin didn't play the last, I think, 6 games of the season, they had a young guy come in. I think it was Huffman, or something like that.
Right.
And I wish I remembered. I should have looked it up, but he played really, really well.
Mhm.
And I think he was in his second year, and he actually played, like, PFF rated him higher than Zach Martin for the last few games of the season.
Sure.
Small sample size. So I think that decision became a little bit easier with Zach Martin as well, and the Cowboys being like,
He's like,
well,
oh,
pass
you
the
can step
baton.
away.
we've got a young guy.
Yeah.
I think the reports are he's going to end up actually coaching for the Cowboys. That's what they're hinting at, that he's going to be a coach.
Brock
So-
Hoffman was his name.
That's
Yep.
it, Brock Hoffman. And he played really, really well the last few games. So maybe they're just like, it's time.
Mm.
He's banged up. He's been injured the end of the season. The last couple of years, he's been injured and struggled to play.
Also, it's just a brutal position.
Yes,
You're
it
just
is.
going against a 270 to 340 pound guy, just button heads.
You're just getting mauled for 70 plays a
Yeah,
game. Like,
yeah,
you're
yeah.
just going to.
There's no plays
adds
off
up.
on the lines. There's just no plays off unless you're Thibodeau from the Giants.
yeah.
Fuck the
The-
Giants.
Very good. He's in. You didn't say hashtag there.
I don't need it.
So-
No, I will say the biggest memories I have of Zach Martin were him and your boy Fletcher Cox,
yep.
2 times a season.
Yep.
Brawling.
Yeah.
Like if they could give me a cut of every game of those two just going against each other.
It's like the
Sign
old,
me
it's
up.
like the old Japan movies where it's like Godzilla and King Kong and they're
Oh
just like
my
fighting
God.
and destroying the city around them. It's like that.
And then as
They don't
soon as
care
the
about
game,
anything else. They're
as soon
just-
as the game ended, they would just embrace each
Yeah.
other as in just the ultimate respect
Yep.
of like
Two professional
it was
warriors.
like what a
basically.
game. And it was 2
Couple of
times a year
dogs.
for 10 years.
Yeah.
Like just brawling. And they were some of the best matchups I ever
Yep.
saw. So
Yep.
shout out. Let's get us over. Brock, you ready now to talk about it?
I'm muted. Fuck me. Fine, I can cry now about this.
So Justin Tucker's got himself in a
So can you
little
give
bit of a pick.
Can you give the people a little bit of background, please, James?
Rocky's got it up. I think that's why he wanted to delay it.
No, you can talk about it, James. I don't,
Okay,
I
so
don't want to mention it.
He's basically been Deshaun Watson by 16 massage parlors.
The Sean 2.0. The what?
The- yes.
No,
He is
no.
the white
No.
Deshaun
8
Watson.
massage parlors, 16 masseuses.
Wow.
My mistake.
Yeah, you're right. That makes it way better, bro.
16 human beings have reported that
Tabloid fodder. Tabloid fodder. Turn your phone off, James.
For the
Why
second
is
time?
this- Why is this happening to me? Sorry. He's been reported by 16 masseuses that he was being inappropriate, similar to Deshaun Watson.
Mm.
And yeah, it's
But
not
in
looking
Brock's
good.
defense, two have come out and said no, it was totally fine. He didn't flop his dick out or
Yeah,
anything.
2 got paid off, so it
Yeah.
didn't happen.
So the 2 best customers, the 2 best
Yeah.
rated ones on Yelp. They said that he's all good.
No, it's a disgusting act. Let's be serious. It's a disgusting act. And
Yeah, hang on. If it's true.
If it's true, it's from 2012 or 2012-13. So
Oh, really? Is it that long ago?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay. I actually didn't know that.
while
My
he
bad.
was in his
It-
prime,
It's a span of 2013 to 2016, other allegations.
while he was in his prime, got swept under the rug.
Yeah.
And now that he's a little bit expendable, they're like,
Okay.
and apparently it was on.
Are you saying this is a
Reddit?
ploy by the Ravens to cut him
No,
for,
no,
for
no.
nothing?
So
or what do you
this
think
was
is?
this was on Reddit and Twitter early on, straight on, like that as it happened,
Mm.
and it got swept under the rug, and now it's sort of like come back out, and now that
Right.
he's not bulletproof, I
Yeah,
think,
okay.
yeah, there's going to be some issues.
It's,
Okay.
it's reported by the Baltimore Banner, which is legit the Baltimore's Herald Sun,
Okay.
is the best way to put it. The Baltimore Sun is their age. The Herald Sun is the Baltimore Banner. It's a tabloid paper
Okay.
that are making allegations now at this point. That's how I stand on it.
Obviously,
Baltimore
no one in this room knows what really happened, but I know for sure one thing, and you said it before, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Oh yes,
Yep.
yep. If it was
So
one case, I would
Something
be
has
like,
definitely happened.
yeah,
What it is, we don't know, but for this many people, from that long ago, like there's something has happened. Something for sure has happened.
Yeah.
I feel like the way he come out and defend himself straight away and has defended himself the whole time. I don't think Deshaun Watson did that as well. He sort of tried to not answer any allegations about it and not want to talk about it. I think it's false, but that's with my Tucker jersey on. I'm going to still wear my Tucker jersey. Fuck the Baltimore Banner.
no, I tend to agree with you.
but more importantly, he definitely did it. Yeah.
yeah, I think
Did he do it?
There's smoke,
Two-
there's fire. There's smoke, there's
there's too many cases, and yeah, it was reported early and it got swept under the rug, like I said, and it's just not a good look. And
Do
just
we-
another.
Do you think he
athlete.
gets cut?
I think he should. I think yes. Yep.
You think he should fall on his sword? Is that what you're saying?
I think he should get cut. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you think this affects him being a Hall of Fame player?
Yes.
It doesn't help it.
Yeah.
Put it that way. Like it's not. This is not like a glowing fucking endorsement.
Because he's definitely one of, if not the best kicker ever.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like,
So I think the Hall of Fame, your MVPs, I think off the field shouldn't impact your MPV. So like political stance, fucking when we had the COVID stance and all of that
Sure.
shouldn't affect it. I think the Hall of Fame's a higher standard, and I think you need to be a better human overall
Sure.
to
Yeah.
to
Like
get
I would agree
inducted
with that.
with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And I think if you have these allegations, even if it's a smear campaign or whatever, like we said, 16 cases is pretty substantial. And I think that should be taken into account and should be held against you significantly.
Unless it's like 100% proven without a doubt that it's all made up BS, and it was like a disgruntled ex that got fucking like half a dozen people to make up bullshit, then
Wow.
it should have.
We're really grasping.
which is
I'm
unlikely.
agreeing. That's a
Yeah.
grasp. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, unless it's that, anything else affects it.
Yeah. It's just, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the girl dad in me coming out, but
No,
yeah,
that's
it's just,
that's fine, and that's fine. Like you can't have a situation where it doesn't matter who you are or your status in the community or how famous you are, how good an athlete you are. You can't have a situation where
manipulating
a man
your
is
power.
is using his power to like sexually coerce women. Like you just can't have that.
And
it's just not good.
The thing, and people will turn
Two
around.
consenting adults, on the other hand, mate, go hell for leather. Like,
Yes.
like I'm all about it.
Well,
but
I mean,
can't be coercing women. into
the
doing
other
that shit.
story that's
no good.
developing with two consenting adults is, another debate for another day.
Yeah.
But I just think
No,
that
I thought we were going to talk about that today too.
We will. Yeah, we will talk about
Okay,
it.
cool.
Boy.
we'll lead into that. But just I think that people that will turn around and be like, oh, well, A, why is it taking so long to come out? And B, there's no proof. Well, they don't film anything in massage parlors because it's an invasion of privacy.
Yeah, of course.
So it's a way that you can get away with what's it? Brock's laughing. It's a way that you can get away from acting that way and not being caught.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
So, like you can't just go out in the street and grab some girl and then
Yeah.
because someone's going to see.
They're definitely picking their moment for
Exactly.
least amount of exposure. I know what you're saying.
Yeah. So it's disgusting.
So we roll straight into someone who's exposed himself quite a bit.
Yes. Take us away.
Shout out! I just want to give a shout out to my man Steve Smith. Steve Smith, what an absolute fucking weapon of a bloke! Weapon receiver and a weapon off the field.
Jay has left the studio. If you're not watching us on Spotify or YouTube, make sure you jump on
Yeah, I know.
just to see Scotty
two-man
walk.
show.
Just
Yeah.
to see Jay walk
If
off.
you're not watching by now, you need to be.
All right,
because-
now it's a Jim Bro podcast.
So,
Steve
so,
Smith.
So the quick rundown is that Steve Smith was caught texting and basically sleeping with another man's wife while himself being married.
She
And
was the
She was in the
marching band.
marching band for the
Or
Ravens.
Yeah.
She was part of the Ravens, the Marching Ravens, which is the marching band for the Baltimore Ravens.
Right.
Oh, she's not in the band. She is one of the workers for the band. Shout out
Shout out
to
special
Sandy.
guest.
See special guest
guest
Sandy on the
Sadie.
mic as well.
Sadie here. She's having
Sadie.
a meltdown outside.
So she was. So this guy's wife was one of the members of the marching band,
Yes.
and he obviously the husband found some texts
Yeah,
and
so
some
he-
back and forth.
obviously
from
realized
them,
something was going on,
something
went
going
through her
on.
phone.
Put Steve Smith on blast on Twitter, and then
Yeah.
rung him
Yeah.
and said, "Hey, dude, what have you been doing? You've been sleeping with my wife. What do you got to say to yourself?" And then Steve
Yeah.
Smith just goes, "Sorry, bro." Like, what do you want me to
Sorry, I was out of the room for a second.
Fucking hell,
Steve
that's
Smith,
so-
who's also married with, I think,
He's also married with 4 or 5 kids. Yeah.
It. Okay, the question for this is whatever people do in their personal lives what they want to do. Whether you agree with it or don't agree with it is not a topic for this podcast. We'll
Sure.
talk about it afterwards for sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
and have
Yeah,
our
because
opinions on
this is not like a morality show.
No,
Yeah.
it's not.
No, it is.
it. Does this affect his job?
No, well, he's on a podcast.
It definitely should affect his job with the NFL Network.
I think you
The
would
NFL Network, yes, I think that does. But I think he makes more money on his podcast.
Why?
Oh, because the morality police. Like they can't
It's
let
it.
him do
It's
this
it.
sort of stuff.
What law
ESPN.
has he broken?
None, but it doesn't matter. You don't have to break a law to lose your job. Like if this is bad press and people are going to be upset by this and not like him because of it, media roles are about whether you're liked or not liked.
Yeah.
He will have a ton of people that will not like him because of this. Whether you agree
As a
with
result
it,
of this,
as a result of
sure.
Hey guys, you can get iPhone 16 Pro. I think you can
Thanks.
save a huge amount.
So
of
we're
money.
taking
bad.
applications for new producers.
An ad popped up on the website I was looking at. Wasn't that website?
He was getting
Fine.
up. He was getting up Steve Smith website. I think like how to find hot band girls. Also, the band girl, Steve. Like, come on, Smithy.
Nah, she just works for the band. She just works for the
Ah,
band. She
so
wasn't
she's
part
an-
of the
She's
band.
an executive. I think he loses his job personally. He hasn't come out and talked about it yet, which
I don't
would
think
be-
he should. I don't think he should.
Well, also like
The difference here between what we were talking about previously is two consenting
Yeah.
adults.
That's my point. That's my point.
Yeah.
but it's not a good look. Like the media, the NFL aren't going to like this.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. But at the end of the day, like I said, it's two consenting adults. Whether you agree or disagree with it, like
Yes, but his job is being on TV and being a
Shannon
likable
Sharp. Shannon
person.
Sharp went live on Instagram, giving back shots out, and nobody said nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but he
it-
doesn't
it
have a
w-
job with the NFL. He has
Yeah.
a job with
He's a head-
ESPN.
but
He
he
was
was-
ESPN.
Yeah, I don't.
He was
know.
on Fox Sports, Shannon Sharp.
It's also
Yeah.
he also didn't have a slander campaign from the husband of the woman he was having sex with on Instagram,
Yeah.
saying that he was
Yeah.
cheating on.
Yeah.
Like that. That's the problem.
That's a bit of a cuck move from that guy too, right?
Well,
Well,
I
you got a
said
problem.
I joked about it. Surely he should
You
have.
got a problem with the guy. The guy slept with your wife. Fine. Like personally,
Yeah.
I don't even think he should be angry with Steve Smith. If anyone, he should be angry with the wife. Like
Primarily, yes. I
Steve
agree.
Smith.
Agreed.
Steve Smith grabbed
I
the
agree.
Steve Smith grabbed the low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Whatever. Good on him. Like me personally, I say good on him.
Hmm.
But that's just me.
Well, he did cheat on his own wife.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Whatever. Again, I'm not the morality police. People can do whatever they want. You don't know what goes on at home. You don't know that.
no.
You don't know that Steve Smith's wife hasn't fucked him in 5 years.
They
You don't know
also
that.
might not
Right.
be together. Like,
Yeah,
we
but
don't
that's
know.
my point. That's what I'm saying. You don't know.
might not be
You
together.
don't know. It's not for me to comment. What I'm saying is, if you want to be angry at your wife. One, two.
Yes.
If you want to be angry with Steve Smith, don't be a bitch about it and put it on Twitter and put him on blast
I
on the
mean, Steve
internet.
Smith's a pretty big
Pull up-
human.
Pull up to his house. Pull up to
No.
his house and throw hands, bro.
He called him.
He's a big dude.
He called him. He
Yeah.
called him.
Yeah,
There's
he
a,
called
like I was trying to find the video of the
See,
actual guy.
I
Called him.
saw that he called him.
And
I
Steve
saw that.
Smith basically said to him, stiff shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
he was
that's
like,
what
all
I'm
right.
saying.
And he was like, all right, well, stiff shit. I'm going to ruin your career. Mate, there's actions and consequences.
Yeah,
Steve Smith fucked up.
I'm just saying he did
the wrong thing.
he definitely fucked up and did the wrong
He did
thing.
the wrong thing on his wife. He did the wrong thing by this guy. And this guy's done the, well, you know what? You're a big personality. I'm going to make sure everyone knows that you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And whether you agree with it, don't agree with it, sit in
I
the
still-
middle somewhere.
He should be more upset with his wife than Steve Smith.
I agree.
100%.
It takes two to tango, but also like he's allowed to be pissed off with Steve Smith, and he's allowed to do what he did.
I'm
The
not
same
saying,
way Steve Smith's
I'm
allowed
saying he
to
should have
fuck his
taken it
wife.
further. I'm saying he didn't do enough.
He should have gone an absolute.
He should have gone. He should have pulled up to his house. I said, "What's up?"
Yeah.
So
He probably would have lost.
the
Steve's
guy-
a good
Yeah.
dude.
Steve Smith's a nugget of a human.
The
He's-
guy was in the comments of everyone saying you should be mad at your wife and like you should divorce your wife. Going, yeah, that's happening.
Yeah.
but I still fucking hate this guy too.
Yeah, fair.
Like he hates all of them. He hates both of them.
Fair.
Yeah.
He's divorcing his wife, and he wants to kill Steve Smith. He wants to end his career. 100%. He's not just going, oh fuck Steve Smith.
I
I'm
don't
going
know.
to stay with my wife. It's not Adam
defense-
22.
In
Great
defense,
call,
in
Brocky.
defense
Great
to this the husband of the band member.
Yeah.
Steve Smith's wrecked his life.
Yeah,
Yeah, 100%.
So Steve Smith, so this man is returned fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm just saying he didn't do enough. Should have done more.
I think
Yeah.
eye for an eye.
Get three buddies and pull up. That's what I
You
would've done.
can't, man. You can't. What?
especially
in America.
everyone's just getting shot.
Yeah.
That's the problem. You reckon Steve Smith hasn't got a gun like Terrell Suggs? He's got guns. He's showing them.
Shout out Sizzle.
He's shooting. He's shooting him.
Please
He's
stay
probably,
away from the
This is
Ravens.
just-
now.
he's probably
Fuck.
calling
This-
Terrell Suggs over to.
All right,
Hey,
can we,
Steve Smith ain't a Raven, mate. He's a Panther.
Can we
All
talk
right.
about?
Disgusting.
Hey,
Let's
no,
rip
my
into
lord.
Can we
the
talk about
actual-
some more football? Can we talk
Yeah.
about Matt Stafford, please?
Let's get
Yeah.
to Matt Stafford. This is
This is-
it
this is
started as a bit of a like rumor, and now it's really gaining some traction.
This is really fucking weird. Can I speak about this for a second?
Yes, go.
This is really weird. This purely has to be a money play and nothing else. This is purely a way to get him to lower his number.
No. This is apparently the organization is not happy with the wife being outspoken.
Oh,
With the Cooper Cup stuff, with a few other things throughout the year.
right?
So that's the under, and I'm doing like tinfoil hat. I'm taking your mantle
I
here.
love it. I love it.
So apparently, there's a lot of this stuff happening at the moment, and she's allowed to have her opinion. I think her family and Cooper Cup's family are very close, and she's
Sure.
not happy with the fact that
Just
that's
been,
happening.
He's been let go like that. Yeah, right.
But football is a business first
Yeah,
and a
that's right.
sport second.
Yep.
And unfortunately, there's always casualties in every single team every
Agreed.
single year. And
So you think this is all stemming from the fact that Stafford's wife's got a big mouth and won't shut up?
I think that plays a part of it.
Yeah.
Because it can't be his
and
play.
and his salary.
It's definitely his salary. It can't
Yeah,
be his play on the field. Like I said to you guys in the group chat,
Should have beaten the.
should have been. If it wasn't snowing in Philly, they win that game.
Yeah.
And they're hosting an NFC Championship game
Wouldn't go as far
against
as
Washington.
wouldn't go too far to say that they win that game, but it's in their favor.
Brother, I'm a Philly fan, and I'm telling you, they win that game.
Yeah, I think Washington were a bit of a smoke in the pan.
No, you're
and
talking about the Rams.
The Rams would have beat the Eagles in Philly if it wasn't snowing, guaranteed.
Yeah, I think so too.
And they're hosting an NFC.
Can we get a
Championship game.
rewind when George was saying how confident he was that he'll beat the Rams?
Don't worry, we'll
No, he said that after the show, after the Eagles won. He said that if it wasn't snowing, it would be.
We would lose that
Yeah.
game.
I'll tear you apart when you deserve it. You did not. You said that. You said. I think your comment was, "Thank fuck for snow,"
Thank fuck for the slow.
Yeah.
Exactly.
because it played the cards in
It
your
was
favor.
because it accentuated our running game.
Yeah.
And that's why we won the game.
They also had a chance to
Saquon ran
win.
for 200 yards.
They also had a chance to win.
Block, please.
the Stafford issue is sort of the team doesn't want the rumors of who's going to be their next quarterback to be lingering over their head after this season as well. They sort of want to look to the future and try and start building now. If they get rid of Stafford and get some cap into them, get some cap space, get some draft picks, they want to start building for the future now before they have the same issue with
But
their
why? He's still playing at a high level, though. That's the point I'm making.
But where the timeline with the rest of the team
drops
is
off real quick.
How old is he?
35, I think, off memory.
Maybe
Uh,
older.
Stafford is 37 years old.
37.
The drop off
My
hits you real
opinion is-
fast.
But I think
He's never going to have
There's-
more value than now.
there's more to this. He's got value. Apparently, the Giants are interested in swapping,
God.
first round picks. So getting
Why
a third
the
o-
fuck?
wild? But that's the rumors.
There's no way they're swapping the third pick. The Giants are not that stupid.
What if the Rams gave him Stafford, their first round pick this year, the first round pick next
What's
year,
the Rams' first round pick?
and got the third round pick and got the third overall pick back?
So
You
Rams,
gained 2 first round picks and swapped this year. Like I think they picked 20 in the draft. They were the 7 seed. They finished in the.
Yeah,
They'll be like pick 22 off the top.
I
of my
wouldn't do
head.
that if I was the Giants.
No, I think it's crazy, but it's also hashtag fuck the Giants. There's something they'll do, and they'll get one good year out of.
if
Stafford
you get
and
the
then fall
Rams
apart.
pick next year, that could be
Yeah, you
very
get-
valuable.
2 first round picks and swap this year, and you get Stafford, which you might get 2 good years out of him. You might get 3. It's a risk. But where are the Rams, Brock?
The Rams pick is number 26 this year.
Yeah.
So, but take into account, there's no quarterbacks. Like they might not like Shador or Cam Ward, or they might not think at pick 3 they're getting either of them.
That's true. With Tennessee and Browns going first.
They generally might not think they're going to get one of them.
Mm.
So they're
So
like,
get
well,
Carter. Carter's the best player in the draft.
Abdul Carter.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so good.
Get rid of Thibodeau, and then you've got Burns,
Mm.
Williams, and Carter. You've got probably the best D line in the league.
Yeah,
it's-
I think it's a dumb move by the Giants if they do it. That's just what's being reported as the offer. So, and then I guarantee you, if they trade Stafford, they are signing Aaron Rodgers.
It's
Right.
it's the case that Giants want to win a couple games now to save the GM's job
Yeah.
and save the head coach's job. Because if they have another shit year where they win 5 games for the year,
There's no way that
They're
there's
both
no way the
both
owner's
gone.
going to let them do that. There's no way.
And Dable's probably saying, "Hey, I can win with Stafford."
There's no way they're going to let them trade the third pick. The owner will not let him do that. Not after the fucking fiasco with Saquon. There's no way. He'll step in and
probably.
veto it.
I'd hope so. I'd hope so. But
I think the longer this goes on, it's going to get to a point where he's going to be a Ram. It's just going to be for less money.
It's the exact thing. Like that's what's going to happen.
That's all it's gonna be.
In 3 weeks' time, they're going to be like, "Hey, Matt's agreed to a salary restructure. He saved us $15 million on the cap. We're all good. Can't wait for next season."
Apparently, they're meeting at the combine,
Yeah.
and
Sure.
it's going to be worked out.
Yeah, but
Over the
also
combine.
every team's meeting at the
Yeah.
combine with every other team. That's
Yeah, I'd be shocked if he got traded.
He won't be.
I'd be shocked,
I'd be very
especially if
surprised.
it's the 3rd overall pick from New York.
No, that won't happen.
But
That's,
again,
that's
why
fucking-
would the
that's a
Rams want
pipe
to do
dream.
that? Because do you want Cam Ward or Shador Sanders over Matt Stafford?
no, but maybe
don't
they want the best player in the NFL.
Yeah, they might want to get Abdul Carter.
Yeah.
You're right. They might want to. I don't know. I don't know what they're
There's 2 very intriguing things for me. One, the timeline of the Rams. They're obviously a very young defense, and they got Nakua. They're cutting Cup. The O line's a little bit patchwork, so they get the
Yeah.
capital to build the O line. Next year's QB class is phenomenal.
Mm.
So even if they're projecting that they're going to have a top 15, 12 pick,
Yeah.
they're probably going to get their guy.
A good pick, good quarterback anyway.
So
yeah.
why would you hold on to Stafford and then be a borderline 7 seed, 6 seed, maybe?
I would argue Aaron Rodgers in McVay's system will be close enough to Matthew Stafford to let him go if the value's right.
I would argue that if the Rams didn't have all the injuries they had in that first part of the season, they're a fucking good team, and they're probably the
Yeah, but I'm saying, but I don't
they're
think
probably
I
the
don't
three
think that I don't think there's much of a drop off from Stafford to Aaron Rodgers next
Oh.
season. I don't think they're ready. They get Aaron Rodgers for $30 million.
So
a
just
year, whatever it
re-sign
is,
Stafford for
1
less money and fucking roll on.
if they
Yeah.
can, but they might not be able to.
The other
I think they
thing,
will.
the
I
other
think
thing
they
with the Rams as well is McVay's always like, "Oh, I'm sick of football right now. I might just quit."
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
does he want to have a rookie quarterback
Mm,
going against everything I said just before? Like,
Ma-
maybe he
probably
wants
not.
veterans.
probably not.
So it's a
We
weird.
all know
it's-
Stafford gives them the best chance to win next season,
That's my point.
and they're not
Yes.
far off winning.
They're not. That's my point.
Yeah,
A
so
Super
it'd be
Bowl?
interesting.
yes, they're far off winning a Super Bowl. Yeah,
You think they're far off?
I
I don't think
think
they're that bad.
I
I
think
think
they're-
they're in contention for an NFC.
I think-
to make the Super Bowl.
if
I
you
think
go to
they're
the
not
NFC, I would say it's probably Eagles, Lions, and Green Bay's a borderline.
far.
I think
No,
the
you guys overrate Green Bay so much.
I don't. Green Bay, are great.
Green Bay are very good.
Green Bay are great.
But I think the Rams are a borderline tier 2, tier 3 team after that. They're I'd say the 49ers
The
are a
way
tier
it shook
2.
out, the way it shook out this season just gone. It's not snowing in Philly. They're playing the Super Bowl,
And a bit of a
that
Cinderella
D-line-
story though.
and that D line is given fucking Mahomes the business.
They're also only in that
You
game
get what I'm saying?
because who's the
Mm.
tight end for Arizona that dropped the catch?
McBride.
McBride had a ball in
I
his
don't want
face
to talk
mask
about it.
and he dropped the ball.
Mm.
Because if he catches that, Seattle's in.
Yeah.
So that's how cutthroat that
yeah,
was.
I agree.
So they're
That's
not
how it
that
shook
far.
out.
They're not that far ahead of the pack.
Yeah, no team is really that far ahead of the pack though. It's all
Yeah.
kind of like everything kind of like
And
washed
you-
out that way.
but
But then you've only got 2 years of Stafford. So do you want to reload, or do you just want to be in mid tier for 2 teams?
Personally,
For
I,
two- mid-tier
personally, I
team
think
for 2
I
years?
think they've got enough. They're not enough skill guys and enough talent on defense. They just need to fucking fix their O line, and they'll be a good team.
Yeah, I'm pretty high on the Rams. I think they're pretty good.
They've got to fix that O line to keep Stafford upright, and they'll be fine.
Their defense played out of their skin this year. You can't expect the youngest defense in the league to do that back-to-back years with Stafford.
Why not?
To maybe
I think
There's
I think
actually-
they're-
it doesn't
they're
always
better
happen.
next
There's
year.
history of that happening. The Browns did it. The Jets have done it recently. The Rams are probably as talented as those 2 teams.
Yeah,
but
I think the
it
Rams defense will get better next year.
But are they the rule or the exception to the rule?
Well, no, because I gave you 2 teams.
No, but
There's plenty of like defenses work in like a 3-year span.
Yeah.
And I think they haven't even hit their first year of being good defense. I think
Yeah.
next year they'll be Verse is going to be better, Turner's going to be better,
Fisk.
Fisk is going to be better,
Nothing-
and Young is going to
They
be
got
better.
the
Nothing
safety
is
as well.
guaranteed, but I'll
Agreed.
be very surprised if they're not a good defense next year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so
Yeah.
too. Anyway, it's going to be. This is an interesting thing, and this is what often happens. This point in the off season is these rumors start to fly.
Yeah,
This is also what happened when Matthew Stafford got traded from Detroit.
yeah.
It started like this, and then before we knew it,
Gone.
Goff was gone, and Stafford
And,
was a
and
Ram,
Stafford's a Ram. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they won a Super Bowl.
yeah.
So I'm thinking other teams are probably doing the well, you know, maybe Pittsburgh are thinking, hey, we'll give you our first round pick this year for Stafford. You can have the 20th pick or 22nd pick in the draft,
Mm.
but we'll give you Stafford. And the Rams go, you beauty.
Do you
Done.
think-
Rodgers, you signed, you're in.
If they trade Stafford now,
Mm.
do they still, with the Super Bowl, do they still win the trade for Goff?
Yes. No matter what, that trade is one of the most even trades in the history.
The
of
ring,
sport.
the ring counts.
Yeah, it's one of the most even trades ever. The
But they might be
Lions got a
reloading.
plethora of good players, and the Rams got a Super Bowl.
But they might be reloading now if they trade him and it doesn't work out for 10 years.
Yeah, but that's not because of Stafford. Like that,
No.
the Stafford trade worked. They
Yeah.
wanted him to win a Super Bowl, and they got him, and they immediately won a
Immediately
Super
won
Bowl.
a
Yeah.
Super Bowl.
they won
He
a
was
fan base too.
He was
with
a
that
big,
win.
and won the LA fan base. He
and
was
that's
a
and got
big
the
part-
stadium as a result,
Yeah.
and so on and so
He
forth.
was
I
a
think they already
massive
had the
part of it.
stadium.
Yeah, they did. It was the Chargers that couldn't get a stadium.
They already had the
Because they-
stadium.
because
It's
they pour.
it's the Rams stadium, but it won them the LA fan
It's
base,
just
which is one of
interesting.
the biggest markets.
I think
in
I
the
think-
world.
I think it'll be a Ram next year for most money.
Yeah,
think-
I think
I-
that's the most
if-
likely.
I'm a betting man. I'll put money on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. All right, let's get to. We wanted to do a bit of a topic tonight. Obviously, season's ended. We wanted to go through some of the worst moves of last season,
Jesus, these are going to have to be rapid fire.
things that happened along the way. Yeah, we don't have to spend a ton of time.
We're
on
going
it.
all night. Fuck it.
Yeah.
We're going all night.
We're never stopping. But you know what?
Multiple trips.
Put us on live, Brock. Put us on live. Let's go. Let's send it. No, let's start. And I want to start by just attacking the New York Jets. And I'm going to read out 4 of the worst moves of the offseason that are all the New York Jets, and then we can just discuss them as a whole plethora of moves. The Jets signing Tyrone Smith and letting Becton walk to the Eagles. Becton went and became a Pro Bowl caliber player
Pro
and
Bowl,
won a
yeah.
Super Bowl on a good O-line, but was really good.
Yeah, he was very good.
He played really well, and he was high plethora
On the run.
high round pick, like very good player.
First round pick. Yeah.
And Tyrone Smith could barely stay on the field, and then when he was pretty bad.
That was a bad fit.
He was average. as
Are
being
you going to go
kind.
through all four of them? Or
Yes.
we're going to talk about that now?
No, I'll go through. Oh, no, let's talk about that one now. Yeah, let's talk about that one.
Well, I think with Becton as well, instead of being the best player on a bad O line, being the worst player on a good O line makes everyone better.
Agreed.
And moving
by
from tackle to
default.
guard
And
makes
it
a
was-
huge difference for a guy like him.
Of course.
And he wasn't outstanding either. He was good against the run and average against the pass.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
He still had a solid year. It was still like his best year in the NFL by far.
By far.
Yes.
And it's just what happens. You get out of the Jets and you have
That's what I was going to say. I think it's just the Jets
but
effect.
I'm just saying that if he had a stayed at the Jets, his production's the same as Tyrone Smith's.
Oh,
I think the bump up for
He
Philly,
played much better than Tyron Smith this season. Tyron Smith,
Tyron Smith was bad.
it
Yeah.
killed me because we all know I love Tyron Smith. He was bad. I thought it was a terrible move.
Don't
for the Cowboys
understand
to let him go.
players doing that. Like going until the wheels fall off like that.
Just
it's a
cashing in.
bizarre
Why
thing.
not? Just
He's
cash
going
in.
to go. I reckon he'll play for the Cowboys this year because the big thing that killed Tyron Smith was the Cowboy. He's been playing.
Yeah,
he
for the
entered the league
practices,
at
yeah.
he was 19 years old when he got drafted because he went to college early because he was that good at
Good,
football.
yeah.
So he was right. He played 12 years at age 32. Like that's a
Right.
lot of seasons.
Yeah.
So and the Cowboys didn't make him train. It was
Yeah.
don't train. Get
Get
all
your
the injections you
injections,
want
yeah.
and play on a Sunday. That's all we need you to do. We know you know how to play. We know you know our playbook. We know we went to the Jets. It was no, you got to train. You got to do this. That's why I thought it was a bad move by him to go
Yeah,
there.
it was a bad fit. There's
And
no
I
doubt
didn't
about it.
like it for the. I thought the Cowboys should have just paid him the $15 million and kept him because I think he would have been okay with us.
Also,
So then when I saw the play, I was like, maybe it was the right move. It was time.
they see him in the building. I think
Yeah.
teams more often than not get it right when a player like that leaves.
Yeah, and then they drafted Guyton, and then he played left tackle and did was solid as a rookie. He
Yeah.
certainly wasn't a road better, but
If
he
you're
was
the
good.
GM, if you're the GM and you got to make a call on an aging player, you'd rather go a year early than a year late.
I agree.
Yeah,
I
so-
fully agree.
Yeah.
That's what asked the Texans. They went a year earlier on JJ Watt. He had one good year in Arizona and then was pretty bad,
Yeah,
and then retired 2 years later.
Yeah.
Well, and it was more injuries for him. It wasn't
Yeah.
that he was a bad player. It's just
yeah,
the
yeah, but yeah,
started
like
to run up.
it adds up, man.
His
It
drop
adds up.
off and Tyrone Smith's drop off are completely different.
Yeah, Tyron Smith's just making him train killed him.
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
showed. The next one was the Jets firing Robert Saleh after 5 games.
This was such a dumb move. This was probably up there as one of the dumbest of the thing because he was easily the best coach in the building. What are you
Yes.
doing firing him?
Well,
Like, what are you achieving?
What
by
were they?
firing him?
3-2 at that point,
3-2, I believe.
and they were going into the game against the Bills.
They were playing the Bills in Buffalo, and if they won that game, they would be
Outright.
the top of the division. Outright.
Yes, but they fired him before or after that game.
Before that game. Before that game.
and then got
Ludicrous.
and then like what
The
if
defense fell apart
Now,
They
where
fired
did-
him after the London game.
Yes, that's right. So whether you liked Robert Saleh
against the Vikings, wasn't it?
I can't remember.
Let me look that up.
If you're the Jets, right? If you don't like Robert Saleh, one, fire him in the offseason
Correct.
before,
Don't
Or-
resign him, exactly.
or go, you know what? We've screwed it here. Let's ride out this season because your defense was playing elite. Then
Mm-hmm.
you fired him. Then Ulbrich had to step up from D coordinator, head coach. So the defense then
Suffered as a result.
lost the
Yep.
proper coach.
Yep.
And then it was instantly when there's smoke, there's fire. There was fires in the building.
Yeah.
Like, every person was looking at New York's going, oh, they're
To
fucked.
be devil's advocate for this, they
Can we
like
call
you
it
said-
Devil Scotty?
Yeah, I am the devil.
To be Devil Scotty?
Wow. Wow.
He wasn't their guy, like you said. Salah wasn't the guy, and they thought that Ulbrich was going to be the coach that everyone wanted. So they wanted to jump on keeping him in the building.
in the off-season kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah. okay.
so keep him in the building. We'll get the 10 games or 12 games. We'll know what he's like. The Jets were 2-3 when they fired Robert Saleh. We've just been informed. So they wanted what they felt like that was the best coaching prospect coming up in the next cycle
Right.
in their building. Keep him in there. See if he's worth keeping.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
to just from their point of view, I can see
They
why they did it.
Could have still done that in the
Horrible.
off-season at the end of the season.
It's just another sign of them not really knowing what they're doing.
Agreed.
Well, that's right. They just don't know what they're doing. In there.
Like the fucking
It's a
fucking owners
knee-jerk
listening
reaction.
listening to his fucking sons about
About Madden Rating.
players.
Yes.
Like it's
Yeah.
just ridiculous, bro. Like some of the shit you hear, you think, fuck, was this posted on NFL.com or fucking The Onion? Like, it's just ridiculous, man. You know what I mean?
That's a throwback.
But do you get my point, though, right? You
Yeah.
think, fuck, is this real or
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, no, I agree. And I said, it didn't work out for them. Their defense. Now, I would have said if they'd had a dominant defense down the stretch, and then the way that Rodgers started to play better,
Yeah, play
he
better,
wasn't
yeah.
amazing by any stretch, but he was better
For his standard.
for his standard. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was a lot better and serviceable. If they'd had a dominant defense around that, it could have been a different story this season. So that's why it was a bad move, because it didn't work out for them. In fact, it hurt them a lot.
Yeah.
We know
You
that.
know immediately your defense is going to suffer, and you've just fired, like I said, you fired your best coach.
And the way
No.
they did it as well, it's just
Such a fucking shit way for a shit organization
Yeah.
to do shit things.
And then the next one was they traded for Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams play, we looked up before. He played 10 games. He had 700 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 61 receptions. That's not bad.
No,
10
it's not
games.
bad.
It's not bad at all. But the fact that they sucked, it was all not.
to
it
me,
wasn't worth
this
it.
trade reeked of desperation.
Yes, it
like-
was
and was this trade?
after the firing.
Yeah, no, but like, is this like an expectation? Like we expected prime Devontae Adams and prime Aaron Rodgers to reunite and just to dominate like they did in Green Bay.
And save the franchise.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Save the
That's
season.
exactly
Yeah.
what they thought
Yeah,
it was.
that's
it
what
was,
Rick
it was a
said.
Hail Mary.
So the move in itself wasn't necessarily bad. It's just that maybe everyone's expectations. On
The
it
result
was-
didn't pay off. Like
Yeah.
they didn't win any more games from having him or not having him.
Well, I mean, they couldn't rely on Pickens or
Wilson.
Wilson.
Was
Yeah.
old 200
Garrett,
targets, 100
yeah.
receptions, Wilson. Like everyone's going to catch 100 passes if they throw it to you 5,000 times, mate.
2 yards
Yeah,
at the
2 yards.
line of scrimmage.
Yeah. And then the last one was the Jets trading for Hassan Reddick from the
Terrible.
The
Eagles
Eagles, yeah.
because
Terrible.
he held out. They should have known before they traded he wanted a contract,
Mm.
and they should have agreed to it in principle. This is the contract we're going to give you when we trade for you. They didn't agree. He held out for 10 games of the season. And then by that point, 1, the season was over, and 2, he was
I think the word was he was a bit of a dickhead. I think that's why Howie was like, I want to get rid of
100%
this guy because he's a bit of a dickhead. I don't want him in the building. And that worked out well.
Yeah, it was. And it said it was just an awful move by the. It just did not pay off at all. One, he wasn't on the field for most of the season, and then when he was late, it didn't matter, and he was done.
Done. Yeah.
Like he didn't play.
Yeah,
well.
like you said, you got to do your homework. You trade for a player who's holding out for a contract. You would assume that you had
Giving
that
him a
contract in place.
Yeah.
You trade for him, bang. There's
Sign
contract.
the deal,
Sign
sort of,
here.
yeah.
We're good to go. They held out saying, no, we're gonna renegotiate in the off season. Like,
Mm.
what world are you
fuck?
living in? This
Yeah.
is by far the worst one that they've done.
It also cost
By
Hassan Reddick something like $9 million.
Mm.
That's because they in credit to the Jets, they never pulled off on it. They were like, no, you're not playing.
They didn't buckle. They stood
They-
on business.
They were
but
no, we're not
it's
resigning.
still dumb though.
It's still a dumb move. You got to, if you're trading for a guy who's having a contract dispute at the team you're trading with him from, you need to have the contract dispute resolved.
Speaking
before
of
you
a dumb
trade for him.
signing,
And I get
Yeah.
and I get that Huff didn't work out for the Jets, but
for the Eagles.
no, for the Jets previously.
yeah,
'Cause
previously
he was a high draft pick and he was a bit of a flash player and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you're trading away an asset on a rookie contract as well,
Mm.
who could come good.
yeah.
Yeah. Some guys might take 3 years, some guys might take 4.
You better.
some
I know what you're saying. You better off rolling with him for no money
Well,
rather
they-
than
they-
getting the guy.
exactly, and then you
trade
renegotiate with your own guy.
They didn't trade Huff, and Huff's one of the worst moves of the season as well. I got like the Eagles style.
I don't know. But I think that's a little bit unfair.
It just didn't. I mean, he wasn't even a starter down the stretch.
No, he wasn't the
they
starter.
paid him a lot of money.
Yeah.
So he wasn't traded. He was signed off after Hassan Reddick was traded. They then signed Huff,
Hmm.
or vice versa. They
I think
signed
he
Huff
was.
and
I
then
don't think.
I think
I don't
it was
think
a
that bad. I think
trade.
it was serviceable.
No,
but
I
it
think-
didn't work out at all.
I
No,
think
he-
it was a trade.
No, he was not a part of the trade. He was signed. It was a 3-year deal. I looked it up before. That's the reason I know.
Oh,
It was like 3-year, $44 million or something.
Yeah,
like that.
something like that. Yeah.
But it didn't pay off. He was not like Josh Sweat beat him out down the season.
yes.
And he couldn't get on the field for Vic Fangio's defense consistently, which
No, he couldn't.
was what they thought he was. They literally thought we're going to trade off Hassan Reddick and get a younger version of Hassan Reddick who's going to come in and be a 15-sack guy or a
Yeah.
10-sack guy.
I think
and
he
he
got a
wasn't.
sack in the Super Bowl. I think.
Bryce Huff
Everyone.
was a free
Everyone.
agent.
For agent signing. Everyone got a sack in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
True.
That's a poor datum.
yeah.
It was so good though.
That's the off season. We're not talking about it anymore.
And then, like, George, I want you to lead into this one.
So we got the Falcons signing Kirk Cousins for 4 years, $180 million with $100 million guaranteed. So basically, Kirk Cousins got paid $100 million to play 10 games for the Atlanta Falcons, suck it up like I've never seen before in my fucking life.
No.
I'm eating humble pie like there's no tomorrow.
I'm fighting you on this one, George.
I'm eating humble pie like there's no tomorrow. He sucked it up big time.
5 games into this year,
Mm.
even when they didn't win that many games, everyone was still loving this signing because he was throwing the ball down the field.
You said he was a top 5 quarterback at one point.
I did, and I'll
I
stand
think-
by that.
No, you won't.
No, you fucking won't.
I will not stand by that. But everyone fucking loved Kirk Cousins when he threw for 500 yards
Yeah.
in a game. All 300, yeah,
Matt
500
Ryan's-
yards in a game.
Matt Ryan's
Everyone loved
Ry-
him.
roster was going, not roster, jersey was going in the banners,
Yeah.
and Kirk Cousins breaks the
The passing record.
Yeah,
passing
but then
record, yeah.
but then what happened after that though?
He fell.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
he started the season at 4-2.
Yeah.
That's how he started the season.
Right. And then what happened after that?
I'm quickly counting, George. Give me a break.
No,
Fuck me.
I think the issue
You're
with
like
this,
I did the votes that time.
I
No.
think the issue is they
1,
didn't expect
2,
Penix
3,
to drop,
4, 5,
and
6,
Penix
7.
was their guy.
Right.
So they've already, and this is probably the biggest issue with the NFL, that it should go draft and then free
100%
agency.
It should.
So they got their QB. They didn't think they were going to get Penix.
Mm.
So there you go. We'll give.
He went 7-7 for the year.
So
He had a Kirk Cousins year.
So they'll give Kirk Cousins the bag. They've got the money. They think they're a quarterback away with all their
Mm.
wide receivers. Their guy drops. Now you got a decision. We've got Cousins for a few years. We can cut him in 3 years, and there's no cap.
Right.
We've got a quarterback that we wanted on team control. Like, you take him. You have to take him.
Who would have thought that which I thought was the worst pick in the draft, actually is going to end up saving the Vikings
Saving the
from
from the Falcons. Yeah.
the Falcons. Sorry, from that terrible signing.
Well, imagine if they didn't get him.
Yeah, 100%. They'd be really stuffed.
They'd be
Now there's
rolling with Cousins again.
because
Yeah.
now there's a bit of hope next year. It was like, well, Kirk Cousins is going to be cut. They've already announced they're going to cut him after whatever I think it's like June 1, whatever it is.
Every contract has a little bit
yeah,
different.
everything they're gonna cut him. He's been reported as cutting. He's gonna be a free agent, and the fact that they've got Penix now, I never would have thought that would have been the savior. It was not a good value pick for them with the player they had, but it turns out it worked out really well.
See,
For them.
I'm still not putting all my eggs in the Penix basket yet.
Well, you have to now. You got no
Well,
choice.
No,
Yeah.
the Falcons have to now. I don't think he's going to be that good of a quarterback until he really develops.
It would
He
take
started 3 games. He went 1-2.
Who
Yeah.
cares?
He went 1-2. He threw for 775 yards. He threw 3 touchdowns and 3 picks.
Yeah, but his
Stroud's
throwing
not.
motion is unreal.
He-
He's the most natural passer of football I think I've ever seen.
Also, he didn't like. You're
it's about
putting
the
too
upside.
much.
It's about the
Yeah, but
upside.
He
Yeah.
has one of the most talented offenses around him.
No, he doesn't.
no, they're
Drake
pretty
London.
talented. They're pretty talented.
Bijan Robinson,
I think
Kyle Pitts.
Good
Everyone
offensive
fucking
line.
loves him.
Shit.
it's
Carl Pitts
about
not shit.
it's
How dare
about-
you.
you're right, and it's about the upside. Like Penix is a lot more upside than what Cousins does. Cousins is fucking done. Like
And
he's
they've got him on a 3 more years on a rookie deal, and then a 5th-year option.
and then a
Yeah.
5th year off.
So,
So
and they'll cut Cousins this year. They'll eat the cap, and
Yeah.
then they'll move on.
and
from
whatever, yeah. Like that's it.
Yeah.
And Cousins is now basically a bridge quarterback.
So
at
hang
best.
on. Are we arguing that this is a good move somehow?
No, I'm saying the Penix draft saved them from this terrible
The
move.
Yeah.
signing was bad
Yeah.
because of how bad Cousins played.
Yeah.
If he was good,
And
Like,
he
if he was-
started good. He
like,
did
if he-
start good.
if he would played at like Baker Mayfield's level,
Yep.
this would be a great sign.
yeah, no doubt about
No, this is worse if he plays at a Baker Mayfield
it.
level.
No, the draft, we're not. The bad move isn't drafting Penix. The bad
No, they
move
go
is
hand in
signing-
hand. They go hand in hand.
Yeah. So what? So either way, that was screwed. One way was going to
Exactly.
be bad.
One
So
was gonna be
I
bad,
agree.
yeah.
So they
I
go
just
hand
thought
in
it would
hand
have been
because
the
if
pick.
Cousins is the guy, you've wasted the pick on Penix, and
Yeah.
you're going to
Yeah.
find out what he has in year 3, year 4, year 5, and then you don't have enough evaluation to know if he's worth fucking $70 million a
Well,
year.
then if you go by that logic, then the Vikings are in the same boat if they re-sign Darnold with McCarthy.
Yes, but I think that they'll get him a lot cheaper, and it'll be a 2-year deal.
Okay.
See, I think it's a bad signing to get Kirk Cousins. As much as I love my white savior,
You said he was top
What
5
are you
8
talking?
seconds
it's a
ago.
bad signing. It's a bad signing. It's too early to say if Penix is the savior of
It's
the
too early to
Obviously,
say. That I agree
He's
with.
played
No
3 games, bro. Look, relax. Give me.
Everyone's
you
fucking
give it a
loving
shot.
him. Fuck
Hang
him.
on, no,
He's a
no, no.
hefty lefty. Let him sling it.
So,
Take
like,
your do-rag off and talk to me.
so the offense was built for Cousins. It never got the whatever skill set difference they have, which is obviously huge. They don't just go into week 17 or week 14 or whatever it was and go, all right, guys, we've got a new playbook. Everyone, Michael Penix's playbook. Everyone learn it. Everyone roll out there and do that. They can't do that. So they're just going to slowly put in stuff that Penix is good at. So you can't evaluate him because he's not playing with his optimal.
Yeah, I
See,
agree.
but that's what I'm saying. The drafting
signing's
of
fair.
Penix isn't the savior to make this a bad call.
What?
Like I don't think them signing Cousins, you can't say it's a bad call unless Penix comes out next year and absolutely dominates.
No, you can say it's a bad call because Cousins sucked and they're going to cut him after 1 year.
Yeah.
Anytime you sign a guy to a 4-year contract for 180 million with 100 million guaranteed, and after year 1 you're willing to pay him $60 million to not be on your football
Yeah.
team,
Bad call.
it's a bad sign.
It's Atlanta Falcons. What do you expect?
The Atlanta Falcons. All right, I'm gonna rapid fire a few.
Yep.
Falcons trading for Matt Judon. I thought it was a good move. Didn't
Terrible.
work out.
I was.
not great.
I saw through their defense from the start. They were pretenders.
Not great.
Not
yeah.
a great move. Cowboys bringing back Zeke. Yeah, didn't pan out. In fact, it probably hurt them
Great
because
move.
then Dowdle had 1,000 yards when they finally let him carry the ball.
Great move for Cowboys. They sold a lot of jerseys with the 15.
That,
and
you know
Zeke
that's
on the
why
back.
fucking Jerry did it to sell
know.
jerseys. You know that.
Hey, we all know
why.
Zeke had a better year than Henry. So worked out all right. Worked out all right.
Put Zeke on the Eagles and he has 2,000 yards.
Oh, get out of here, Malaka.
I could run for 1,000
so-
yards
he's
in that
so
offense.
I don't think he could run for 1,000 yards without the ball.
Foot race right now. Foot race. We're going live. Foot race.
He couldn't run 100 yards without fucking having an asthma attack. There.
Cap, I'll show you the highlight film.
Whoa, leave him alone. All right,
Fight me, George.
Bears trading for Keenan Allen. Awful. Didn't burn out.
Yeah,
It was
nah.
unfortunate. Like we
Like
thought he
on
had some
paper, it
juice
was a
left.
good move, but
The signs were there early.
Again,
The
that-
signs were there
like I
last
said,
year.
Just didn't work
Just the year too early. Obviously, the Chargers said, "Yeah, cool, see ya." Year too early, no problem. See you
Just
later.
didn't work out. Jags signing Gabe Davis. Sorry, you got more on Keenan Allen.
No, go.
Jags signing Gabe Davis for a lot of money.
Mm,
Didn't work out.
yeah,
It could work out.
Let's just wait and see
Yeah.
because the whole offense, the whole team, dumpster fire. I think you get an actual offensive coach there.
It could
with
work
Brian
out.
Thomas.
Yeah.
I'm still a
I like
Trevor
Brian Thomas.
Lawrence guy.
I like Brian Thomas.
I think Trevor Lawrence is that good, and I just think he needs the right OC and the right coach.
I will think that he will not be on the Jags by the end of this season.
No,
Seattle trade him.
Gabe, who? Jaguars.
I think,
Lawrence.
yeah, Lawrence. I think this will be his last year in Jacksonville.
If he doesn't play well this year, potentially.
That's what I'm saying.
But, like Coleman came there to coach.
Yeah.
Like Lawrence. All this bullshit about they're going to trade him is absolute
And-
bullshit.
yeah.
He's not going anywhere.
But keep this receipt, Brocky. By this time next year, Lawrence won't be there, and neither will be Coleman. They'll both
You
be
reckon
gone.
one and done?
No,
I actually don't mind that.
I don't think it'll be one and done.
that's a huge call. I
They're-
agree.
There's always
Their
a
fates,
couple.
their fates are tied. Their
Yeah,
fates are
I
tied.
agree. I agree.
Speaking of one and dones, Antonio Gates, not Antonio Gates. sorry.
Antonio Pierce.
Antonio Pierce is one of the worst.
That's bad.
Yeah, you've got the floor.
If
Take it.
you guys ever want some vindication that my
Vindication.
first year coach
Vindication.
disaster scale is the most accurate in the world, AP was rated dead last by a fucking
Yeah.
mile. I saw through that idiot like he was still playing linebacker
Yeah.
for the fuck the Giants.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I remembered him as a Giant, and I'm like, fuck the Giants. He's going to screw this like he screwed the Giants for years. Stuff that guy. I've never been. Oh,
He didn't screw the Lions for years. He was a Giants. He was a good player.
fine. He won.
The
He was
right-
a good player.
He
The
won
writing was on the
Super Bowl,
wall
I
for him as a coach. The writing was on the wall. Pretty.
100%.
Yeah.
When the players get you a job, it's never good.
No,
It rarely works out.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So yeah, it was a bad move.
poverty franchises.
Bring back Gruden.
100%. Quick couple others. Deontay Johnson being traded to the Panthers,
Playing
then
for-
being cut by the Panthers,
Yeah.
then playing for the Ravens, then being cut by the Ravens, then playing for the Texans,
Texans,
I
yeah.
believe. You muted, big guy.
Panthers to the Ravens. Ravens to the Texans.
Texans. Yeah.
He was signed
Sorry,
by the
that's
Ravens.
exactly what I
He was
just
signed
said.
by the Texans off waivers.
Have you had a stroke?
That's exactly what I just said.
Possibly.
Possibly.
Yeah, he's played.
Pretty
He's played.
grenades.
He's had a big afternoon.
He's played for half the league in a year and had 0 catches. So
Yeah.
terrible all around.
And then another one, Titans trading a 3rd-round pick for
Yes.
Snead from the Chiefs, giving him $51 million. He played 4 games this year, and when he played, was one of the worst rated cornerbacks in football.
Yeah.
Still, it could work out. He was very, very good at the Chiefs, but it's unlikely when corners struggle. it's very rare they turn it around.
Yeah.
Once you're kind of done at corner, you're done at corner.
Yeah, the injury's a bit of a worry too.
Yeah, and he's been injured a lot,
Yeah.
which didn't help. Obviously, only playing 5 games. That wasn't
Mm.
because he sucked, just because he was injured.
Yep.
And then to barrel the ball,
This has to be the worst
the
one.
worst off-season move.
Maybe
in-
ever. Maybe
No. Well, silver linings. It was really good for one.
It was
team.
Yeah, great move for the Eagles. And then all the media stuff because the Giants decided to let Saquon Barkley walk, then do an off-season Hard Knocks where it showed their like decision to let him walk, where they literally said, "We're not paying a quarterback $45 million a year to hand it off to a $12 million a year running back." That quarterback was cut by mid-season,
Mhm.
Daniel Jones, and a bit unfair. And it was like it was a
And
handshake.
by the time
It was a huzzah. It was like, I
by
want
the
to go.
time
you want
Daniel
me gone.
Jones had been cut by the Giants, Saquon had 1,000 yards rushing for
Correct.
the Eagles.
Correct. One of
Jesus.
the worst, one of the best moves in a team in the history of the sport, and one of the worst moves in the
This has to
history.
go down as the worst off-season move.
Can I say
for a
one of
team
the-
ever.
It was. We're probably going to say the same thing, but it's stiff for the Giants in the fact that they wanted to re-sign Barkley twice, and then he didn't want to do it. As
I
well.
don't blame him.
I know, but
He
you
didn't want
can't.
to play for him.
Oh, who would?
Yeah.
But
True.
but like you can't hold it against the Giants. It's not like that. Everyone's
but
got
they-
this. Everyone's got this thing where it's like, oh, they picked Daniel Jones over Barkley. Well, no, they didn't. They picked Barkley first. They
The
had the
price-
money there. They had to pay one of the two. Barkley did not negotiate.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones did
So the price
Time's
was
running
set.
out.
The price was set, and they didn't want to pay the price.
in
And they
free
said-
agency.
Yeah, they
yes.
said, yeah, it was test free agency, and obviously the Eagles are like, yeah, we'll fucking have you.
In terms of the NFC East rivalry, you don't let a high caliber player when he said, "Hey, the Eagles have offered me this," the GM should have said, I'll give you $20 million to not play for
Not
the
playing
Eagles.
the Eagles, yeah.
You can sit down at you can be in California sitting on the beach watching the waves, but you are not playing for the Eagles. Here's $20 million.
The Eagles did come off the absolute implosion last year as well.
True.
So I guess looking at the start of this season, we're not looking at the Eagles the same way we're looking at the Eagles now.
No, and running backs are a cherry on top of an already good offense, which the Eagles were.
And he's also
he would have
nearing.
been he would have been nowhere near as good.
He's
as
also
Jones.
nearing that age where it could all drop off a cliff, and he does nothing.
Yeah, there's also if everyone thinks that if Saquon Barkley had just played for the Giants this year, he would have had the same season.
Not even close.
You're
No,
crazy.
no.
It was the perfect storm.
it
Everything
was.
happened, and unfortunately, the Giants
You-
let him walk. So
you
you'll
s-
live with that forever.
You said it right. Saquon was a cherry on top
100%.
because we've got the two receivers, we've got the running quarterback, we've
Because
got
it
the
protected your
O-line.
quarterback from having to throw the ball, which was so important for
You
you.
have a running back playing quarterback. Yep. Yes.
Oh,
You know,
Brock,
Calm down, Lamar.
Brock, you're opening a door you don't want to open. Stop. Shush. Mute yourself.
The
Mute
doors are
yourself.
the doors ajar.
This fucking guy.
George is going to kick that door open.
This is
no.
smart.
It was the worst move of the offseason.
I think it might be the worst move ever. It will go down as one of the worst moves ever.
100%. Just
Oh
for the
no,
fact
Luca
that the
trades
season-
is
yeah.
by far the worst.
We're talking football.
We're talking
Hey,
football.
Oh,
sorry.
hey, don't bring your past traumas into this podcast, big guy.
It's just, I
Can you- is
think
can you
we
mention-
don't have this on the list, but the worst move of this year was the Giants doing the off-season Hard Knocks.
Yes.
And the early reports is there will not be a season 2 of off-season Hard Knocks.
Why would anyone, if I'm a GM or an owner of a team and HBO come up and go, hey, James,
Can't the NFL make you do it?
hear us out.
Yes.
Not off-season.
No, they
Not
can't.
off-season.
They cannot make it. They can make you do hard knocks, but there's like prerequisites. for
Yeah,
it.
like you've got to
Or
not, you've got to miss the
in-division.
playoffs and
Can't
yeah,
have
so
a
on
new
and so
coach.
forth.
Or the
Yeah.
in-season, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if they come to me and said, hey, we want to do an off-season move on you guys, I've been like, hey,
I'll be like, yeah, how's Shaq
When-
my dick sound?
when you walk out, the door's going to slam shut.
Yeah.
Move your fucking ass quickly
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I am
yeah.
not letting anyone in this building for an off. Why would you want anyone seeing what you
That
do?
being said, I could see Jerry just
Don't,
showing
don't.
the
Eat-
Cowboys
eating it up,
all
yeah.
summer long.
He's
Just
not
saying,
wrong. He's not
have a
wrong.
look at our system, have a look at our stadium, have a look at our coaches, have a look at everything.
He's right. I'm gonna tell you why. Because Jerry cares more.
There's the first one of the new season.
Hey, but listen to what I'm going to say and tell me I'm wrong. Jerry cares more about people talking about
Exposure.
the Cowboys than about the Cowboys winning games.
No such thing as bad press, big dog.
George, hence why he's doing a Netflix documentary that comes out in a couple of months
Yeah.
about the Cowboys.
See,
and
This
there you go.
season of the Cowboys,
No, like the whole Cowboys organization.
That'd
They're,
be interesting.
they're doing a Netflix documentary.
he changed football.
No,
And-
it fucking won't. You know what would be interesting? Win some games.
No, he
Make a conference championship game. You haven't done that in 30 years, bro.
he's got more Super Bowls than the Eagles owners.
That's fair.
For now.
But
And-
who's got more?
Okay, but what I'm saying, how long are you going to dine out on that for, bro?
Well, he's won them.
That's all you judge people on.
He can dine out on them to the day he fucking dies. He's won 3 Super
Which is
Bowls.
hopefully very soon.
Hopefully. Fingers crossed. Toes crossed. Throw my
Well,
crocs rock. I want to cross
And
them.
hey, as an Eagles fan, I want him to live to be 100. Bro.
Yeah.
I want him to get wheeled out in a fucking chair, waves to
Can
the
we-
crowd.
Can we just rewind and how did I just come into defending Jerry Jones? What have I become?
Yeah, you hate him more than anyone.
I know. I
The
don't know.
world's changing real fast.
We've won that.
I thought you got a voodoo doll where you fucking slap and you stab that
12
fucking thing every
wins,
day.
four seasons, 12 wins in 3 of those. No, fuck Jerry Jones. He's a moron. But that, in fairness, if the Netflix documentary is about his ownership of the Cowboys, it would be interesting. He changed the NFL's like the way that the teams earn money. He was a
Through the
Yeah,
TV deals
yeah.
and all that, yeah.
he was
Yeah.
a big like he can't run a team. He shouldn't be.
And
a GM.
even when he bought, it wasn't like a guaranteed home run when he bought the
No,
Cowboys.
No,
either, 'cause
he turned him into
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
the other owners and like NFL savants say that he changed the amount of money.
The
NFL
business
no-
side of
There's
NFL.
no
changed
doubt.
from
There's no
him.
doubt Jerry Jones'
Knows how to make money.
business acumen is up there with the elite of the elite, like fucking Mark Cubans and the Elon Musks and the fucking Bezos of the world.
Yeah.
But he's not a general manager of a football team.
No, he's not.
And that's the delusion that he's
Do you know
under.
But
why he
that's
bought
where-
the Cowboys? Do you know why he bought the Cowboys?
because he wanted to be a coach.
No, because his kids had moved to Dallas. So he wanted a business opportunity
Oh,
in
okay.
Dallas to be closer to his
Okay.
children. So, and that was look, it sounds wild, but the first one that he kind of saw was like, Cowboys for $250 million.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I'll
could
do
buy
it.
a football team.
Yeah.
That's why. It wasn't like, I want to be a football. And then obviously it developed over time.
Like,
Winning Super Bowls
there's
early
no
doesn't
doubt
help
that he's
you.
a good guy and that he's a good family man. I'm not saying any
No,
of that. I'm
it-
just saying he's not a good general manager.
No, it's a
That's
terrible
all.
job, man. But the documentary could be interesting.
So
I
he,
won't watch it.
he paid $140 million for the Dallas Cowboys
Wild.
in
Yeah,
1989.
late 80s, yeah.
That is equivalent to $300 million in 2023. That's the closest numbers I got, boys. Sorry,
Okay.
apologies. It's worth $11 billion at the moment.
11.
Good investment.
Hey,
It's a cheeky couple, Billy.
you can't get that buying Bitcoin.
That's
Actually,
with
you
a
probably
boo.
Yeah, you probably
don't start on the Bitcoin. All right, let's get us out of here. I want to give a shout out to our boy Brocky for one thing. He put the aircon in.
Yeah, 3 votes.
You've noticed there's not sweat dripping off George's
My fucking
forehead.
forehead.
Wolf head. It
It's a
isn't
wolf head,
been as hot. Shout out to you, Brocky boy. You're an
I
absolute
paid the
legend.
toll. I got 2 flat tires.
Yeah.
I'm sleeping here at JA's house tonight.
Oh, well, you'll be comfortable with the aircon. So it's all good.
100%.
Just don't sleep on this.
Yeah, don't sleep on that. You got to pick having your legs coiled up or sleeping on bricks. It's
On
up to
bricks,
you.
yeah.
Does that couch pull out?
Nothing pulls out in this house.
No,
Big dog.
definitely not me. Definitely not us.
We're in full off-season mode. Combine is this weekend.
Yes,
NFL
yes.
Combine. So we'll talk a bit of
We'll talk
Combine
about that.
next
Yeah,
week.
absolutely. Great.
So you said it before. I was like, no, it's not this early, you idiot. It is. It's the 27th.
Keep an eye out on a couple of receivers. There's a weak receiver draft, but there's a guy from Stanford and another few receivers that are going to skyrocket.
Okay.
It's always
So-
good to watch a bunch of guys run around in their undies. It's
Mm.
good fun.
Yeah, it should be really good because I'm interested to see what Travis
Chris
Hunter
Jones
does.
just changed
Is
the combine
Tra-
for everyone.
Is Hunter going to take reps at receiver or is he just going in as a corner?
I've not seen anything.
He's going at corner at the moment.
So he's not going to take any
Shador's
reps at
not
receiver?
throwing.
He might be. He might
Shador's
be.
not throwing.
Shador's not
Because
throwing.
the last I heard, he was umming and ahhing.
No,
Abdul Carter's not working out at all.
He doesn't
He's
need to.
recovering
He's-
from a shoulder injury.
he doesn't need to.
He's the
He,
best defensive player in the draft.
by far, he will be the best player.
Yeah, he's like Jalen Carter that
Yeah.
year. He's the best player in the draft. If
Yeah.
whoever gets him at 5, which is likely what's going to happen because everyone's a moron.
A couple
They'll
of
be very
really good O linemen, but yeah.
So yeah, Combine this week. We'll talk about it next week. We're still weekly episodes. Shout out to Brocky on the 1s and 2s.
Fuck yeah.
Shout out to the boys. George is going to do the intro next week.
Oh,
Maybe
Jesus.
we'll see.
I need a full 7 days of prep for this. Fuck, I might even have a little
In front of the mirror.
I might have someone give me some flashcards or something.
Hey,
Teleprompter. We're going to tell him.
George, I'll get the teleprompter out. Don't worry, I got you, buddy.
Beautiful.
Please,
You know
I
what?
need it.
Let's end the show with our new outro song.
I love it.
Love the boys. Have a good one, lads.
Peace
Peace.
out.
Lights on, mic check. Game time, let's go. Jay George, Scotty running the show. Rock on the mix, keeping it tight. NFL talk every day, every night. From the turf to the booth, we break it all down. The Vault Studio, the best show in town. Show in town, best show